as of now, we released our first ASPIRE25 interview, so maybe you've watched that.
Oh, definitely. I've seen it everywhere.
So with that in mind, let's get started on your 25 random questions. I know you wanted me to tell you what the questions were, but as part of the series, we're going to let them be completely random. So
let's be prepared.
So let's go ahead and get started. What was the last thing you remember eating?
I ate a bowl of Fruity Pebbles this morning.
Fruity Pebbles, okay.
Favorite cereal.
What's the thing you like to eat that your friends or family think is gross? So everyone always has that like gross combination. What's yours?
I don't know if I necessarily have a gross combination, but most of my family hates that I eat like sushi, especially when I put wasabi on sushi. Like they think that that's absolutely disgusting.
Absolutely gross with the. Do you like the raw fish one, or are you more into like just the vegetable sushi?
Oh, raw fish.
Okay, raw fish all the way.
Yeah.
Are you a coffee or tea person?
I love tea. I can't go without tea.
Are you more of a morning person or night owl?
I'm a night owl. I think now, especially since everything's kind of went a little bit crazy, I'm up until like 4 or 5 a.m. most nights.
What's the last book you read for fun?
I actually just finished the autobiography of Malcolm X, which I guess wouldn't necessarily be like a fun topic, but it's fun for me because I like learning about like Black history and culture.
Okay, so you're still getting to the heavy topics, even though it's for fun. What was the last song you listened to?
The new Say So remix by Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj. Really fun.
I've never heard of that, but we'll go with that.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
That's okay, because Vanna was telling me people to listen to, and I was like, okay. So I'll have to definitely check that out. If you had to pick one album to listen to on repeat forever, you only got to pick one. That was the one you had to listen to forever. What would it be?
Lemonade by Beyonce.
Okay.
Awesome.
Everyone's watching a lot of TV, with social distancing and self-isolation, I guess, going on. So what's one show you find yourself watching the most of?
I watch a lot of The Good Place because I feel like life has just kind of turned into like the bad place.
So you were just watching it to, just remind yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you more of a Monopoly or Game of Life person?
Probably Monopoly because love money.
With summer quickly approaching, though you won't be able to tell from the weather currently outside Morgantown, what's your favorite summertime activity?
I really love biking, especially on like the rail trail in Morgantown. I love being able to just like kind of go really long distances and kind of just enjoy nature.
What's your favorite thing to do in Morgantown? It doesn't have to be in the summer, but just in general. What's your favorite thing to do?
I think kind of like exploring the different restaurants that are all around Morgantown.
Okay.
Because back home, like there's only like one restaurant, so I've never really gotten the opportunity before now to try all kinds of different foods, I guess.
Who's one person you try to emulate and why?
I would say probably Michelle Obama because how she's known for that quote, like they go low and we go high. She's really just a very strong Black woman and is definitely a really inspiring figure.
Okay, so people usually consider themselves an introvert or an extrovert. What do you consider yourself?
I think I'm probably more of an introvert. I get my energy from kind of being by myself. I feel like I get drained being around big groups of people.
Okay, sounds good. So you're doing okay being at home, not having to go out and exert yourself too much.
Yeah, I'm making it.
Okay. So you're currently planning to do an internship in the fall. So can you just tell us a little bit about where your internship is and what you're anticipating doing?
So my internship would be with the United States Department of State in D.C. In the Office of English Language Programs because I have experience kind of teaching English and being an English conversation partner. And so what I would be doing there is kind of coordinating different English programs like throughout the Middle East because of my experience in Arabic studies.
Okay. So do you plan on working in the federal government in the future?
Yes, I do. And I actually was really excited about this position because I want to be a regional English language officer, which works out of the same office that I'll be interning for.
So my next question was going to be what your ideal job was going to be. So you kind of said that, but let's take that a little bit further. Where do you think your ideal job would be? Do you see yourself staying in the U.S., going abroad, anything like that?
I mean, as an international studies major, I'm definitely planning on living abroad one day. I think ideally that would be somewhere in an Arabic-speaking country, maybe Jordan, maybe Bahrain, something like that.
Okay. So I know you studied on a Gilman scholarship. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I spent 6 weeks during the summer of 2019 as a Gilman scholar in Amman, Jordan. And I basically studied Modern Standard Arabic and Jordanian Myya at the Qassid Arabic Institute.
So what was the most memorable part of your study abroad experience?
So I was actually very lucky. The institute that I went to coordinates with a lot of non-governmental organizations. And so my favorite part of being abroad was being able to work with one of those and kind of go to another city every weekend and teach a group of young, vulnerable refugees English.
So you recently won a Boren scholarship. So WVU had 2 Boren scholars awarded this time. So could you just tell us a little bit about your plans? So tell those watching this what specifically you're hoping to do with your Boren scholarship.
So what I wanted to do with the Boren was to kind of return back to where I was for the Gilman, which was back at the Qassid Arabic Institute, basically so I could further my own Arabic studies and kind of getting more of that cultural immersion because honestly, 6 weeks anywhere, at least for me, just isn't enough. And I wanted to go back for a longer period of time to kind of, gain the skills that I need to be successful in the job that I eventually want to do. And so that requires me getting a very high skill of not only modern standard Arabic, but also dialectical Arabic. And that institute was just really great. It was a really great experience for me, and I wanted to return to that.
You and I have talked a little bit about some grad school opportunities and potentially going to grad school. So do you have a grad school in mind that you're thinking about going to?
I would love to go to Howard University. I think it's just, it's a great place where, not only can I learn more about political science and international relations, but where I can also learn more about my own community and my own culture as a Black woman, while it also being so close to, the political hub that is Washington, D.C.
Tell the viewers what your most memorable undergrad experience has been so far.
I think my most memorable experience would definitely have to be Model UN because I've made so many friends in that and, gotten to know the great professor, Dr. E-Step. But my most memorable experience with that, I think, was the first time I entered the United Nations General Assembly Hall and kind of being in that space where so much history has happened and so many famous and infamous political figures have been.
So I was going to ask you to tell us a little bit more about Model UN and also your work on SGA. And so would you encourage other students to do those? Take those opportunities?
Yeah, definitely, by far. I think that every student should get involved, especially in things that they're passionate about. And SGA focuses more on my political science side for me because I am a double major in political science and international studies. And then Model UN really just aligned more with my international studies side. And so they were both able to, kind of introduce me to those concepts that I'm passionate about. And I made a lot of friends and got a lot of experiences along the way.
So if a student wanted to join Model UN or SGA, how would you encourage them to go about doing that?
I would definitely start with just, giving them kind of contacts for people that they could talk to in those things right now. Because, most people are scared to kind of join organizations because they don't know anyone in them. And so kind of just giving that little push and kind of working with someone else to, help them feel more comfortable in spaces like that, I think would be the most like encouraging thing to happen for them.
So as you know, we've been working on some of our new students, new admits to the university, and then there's always the students who have been here for a little bit. But what would you encourage students to do more of on the WVU campus while they're here?
I always try to encourage students to really get to know their professors. That was something that I was really scared of, I think, my freshman year, because I never really had to reach out to anyone coming from such a small area in West Virginia. And so I would definitely just tell people to be more comfortable with that and kind of like, talk, just walking up to your teacher after class or stopping by office hours.
One of the things that people have asked are the questions that we're going to ask, are they going to always be the same? And so the questions have been completely different for you than they were for Vanna, except the last one. The last question that I have for you, I want to kind of always end the interviews with the same last question. And so in 5 words or less, pass along the most important information you can think of to current and future mountaineers. So you only get 5 words.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's hard. I think, actually, I'm going to stick with, like, the little, I guess, motto that WVU has, which is just let's go, and, like, going first.
Okay. Sounds good. So that concludes my 25 questions, and I want to thank you, and the whole Aspire office wants to thank you.
Thank you. It was nice talking.
Nice talking to you.